This can be a really bit of a pain. We have to get this fuel line attached to this fuel filter into there, and this has to look like that. Right? So one of those, this is going to be the one that's attached to the fuel filter. And how do I know this, right? Well, this is how I know. When you push the primer bulb, right? Look what happens. Look right here. Yeah, that's good. It's too rigid. Maybe something else. Let's see. Maybe this. Let's see if that moves. All right. Okay. See how that blows. So this one blows air down, right? That means this is going to be the return. Fuel's going to come back in, and this is going to suck fuel in. So as this gets pressurized inside of here, right, that's going to suck in the fuel. I'm sorry, this side. It's going to suck in the fuel. So this hole is going to be the hole for the fuel filter. All right. Let's go ahead and put that line in there. That's going to be fun. Okay, fuel filter. So to do this, suppose we can just go like this with this. You get in a little bit of an angle. And the longer the better, because this thing is in a weird, tricky kind of way in the back kind of fuel tank. Push that through like that. Yeah, look how it fits. Okay. So we're going to lubricate it a little bit. Push that in. That's perfect. Okay, so then we take our long pliers. See if I can get that all back there. Okay, so that's in the tank, right? And we just need to kind of grab it, pull it. There you go, like that. Okay, with that pulled. Make sure you can see everything. Okay. And that pulled, we're going to just clip off the end. Look at that. It's nice and flat. And then we take our fuel line. Let's give it a little shot there. It's on the low. We're in the high setting. So we can give that a little. Just going to soften it up a little. Shouldn't really take too much. Yeah, more than that. How about that? Yeah. That's friggin' awesome. Okay, that works really well. Let's pull this back in. And we just need to make sure that this fuel filter stays fairly, has enough room to roll around at the bottom, you know, because this needs to be able to like have access to fuel to wick it up. So that looks good. Alright. Because most of it, when you operate this, I'll show you what I mean. So you can think about it together. When you operate this, right, you're mostly holding it downwards like that. So that means fuel, access to fuel needs to be at the bottom here. So this is sitting at the bottom and gives us a lot of space to like move around. All right, and that will go up to like right there. So we can go ahead and mark it and cut it. So we're thinking like we'll do right there. So let's cut it from here. Okay. So that's there. Let's slide up onto there. Come on. You can do it. I mean, oops, oh boy. Let's take a little bit. Put a little bit of that off. Let's take a little bit off. So it'll be like that. Does that feel weird? No, it's good. Oh, I think I might. I got it. I pulled this through a little bit too much. Back down like that. Yeah, that works too. Okay, that should give us what we need. Alright, let's go ahead and get the return line in there. So to put the return back in, we'll do the same on that. Just get a nice bit of an angle on it. The softer the slope, it's going to be considerably easier to get in. Just remember, and definitely don't try to do this without some sort of like spray lubricant like that, because it's really hard to get down in there. Usually these things fight so much more. This one's not fighting much. Now this is just a return, so it doesn't have to be too far down in there. If you're running low in fuel line, you can just use less on the return. Okay. So we need. Okay. So return doesn't need too much. Perfect. So fuel line, return. Okay. I think I'll heat these up just a little. Oh, let me see. So that one kind of goes on pretty easily. Yeah, those fit pretty good. So under here I have some bumpers. And those bumpers are, this is the part number for it. So 98792. Can you see that? 98792. That's a Ryobi bumper. Now I had to buy another one because one was missing. So that goes there. And that goes there. That's the original. This is the new one. And then we're going to heat these up just a little bit. Slide them on. Wish for the best. Before we do that, let's just make sure that this is going to seat properly. Yeah, that's good. Because this gasket goes on last. Alright. Let's do it. Let's do the fuel first. Slide that on, hold it there. Perfect. It goes all the way up because of that heat. Let's slide this down some. Oops, go back up. Oh no, come on. So you want it to cool. Put it on there because as it cools, it should shrink. That's what should happen. It should cool and really tighten down onto that, clamp down on that. It's called thermal displacement. No! Rats. Did I just do that? Yes, I did. Okay, so let's try to do the same thing for the return. Shall we? Perfect. Okay, so that's there. Bumpers in place. You have four screws we need to put onto here. Okay. Let's see if that'll stay. Okay. That stayed. Okay. Let's back you out a little. Alright, we got a gasket to throw onto that. And that gasket is it's this. Okay. So it's part number part number B0162W4GLI, not a 1, I, because it doesn't have the hook. Okay. So we have to get that. Gasket to like here. Sounds good. Yeah. I thought you'd like it too. Sounds like a good idea. Feels a little off in size. Oops. Okay, that's better. Seems to be holding. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of a pink elephant in the room, ladies and gentlemen. Pink elephant. Get these screws over. Put that back up. Just gonna put this in place so I can have at least put one. Use that as so we don't line it up. Just line it up. That's perfect. All right, with that being aligned, then should we go like this? You know, I think about it some more too. Probably want to just maybe wipe off a little bit of the extra stuff on the inside of that engine. This is the isopropyl. Let's wipe off the extra stuff on the inside. This stuff here. As to make a bigger mess. Oh God. Why did I do that? Sometimes. Swear to God, intelligence is a gift. And not everybody gets the same gifts. The hell was that? Why did I do that? It's okay. It's alright. It's like a crime scene. Jeez. try this again. But this time clean it, squeeze it off the edges so it doesn't drip. This is like hands down the most important gasket too. This one needs to have the best seal because the engine will lose compression if that's not sealed well. Okay, so this goes on. So we're gonna have to clean this off a little bit more. It's just not acceptable. Okay, so let's tighten those down. These are T205s. Alright, let's see. That turns over quite nicely. Alright, we are going to put a spark plug on there. Well, we have to fix the choke. Sorry about that. Too happy. Yeah, we have one more bolt to put in here. That's that bolt. This one's a little thicker in girth. So line that up. Let's do, I should probably, before we get any further, let's just check for spark. Got this turned to the dark side of the moon. And as you can see, it is a happy camper. You see that? I can't, my big finger's in the way. Hold on. See that? Sorry. Put the spark plug back in. That is a 3/4 socket for this spark plug. Anybody seen that show called The Boys? It's produced by Amazon. It's rated like 9.0 on IMDb. Wow, that show is amazing. They have definitely redo the landscape on this type of entertainment, like sci-fi and superheroes. Anybody's written, it's just nobody's written anything this realistic. When it comes to like, you know, so we always think about superheroes that kind of sold to us, kind of like always have the moral high ground. We'll do anything to maintain that. But the truth is, like, superheroes should just be humans, right? If they are experiencing an evolutionary process and end up with some super abilities. What do you do with super abilities when you're just human? You know, as they say, great power comes great. With great power comes, oh gosh, what's the refrain? Great responsibility, right? And power corrupts. Power corrupts ultimately. Those are two separate things, by the way. So you can see that, you know, it's going to be an issue if you have lots of power. Well, the dudes, apparently it's based off of a graphic novel, do a great job at addressing that. I mean, amazing. Everything, right down to the just like random encounters, how people experience privilege, hero worship, and oh my god, it's just so amazing. Okay, that looks good. We have to fix this choke now. That thing right here, which you might not be able to see, but what I'm thinking, right, is we can do the old plastic repair trick. See the crack? Back you off. I showed you this already, but it has a crack right here. And I'm thinking we can try to fix it. Let's go. Here's the part we want to fix, and it has the crack right here, down the center at the top. What I want to let's go ahead and clean. Sorry, I'm trying to remove some of the weird things I say from my language so much in these videos. Anyway, so I'm a work in progress, as they say. Are we all just a work in progress? So I'm just using some isopropyl while I get the surface nice and clean. Alright. Sweet smell of Proposition 69. Or 65. Proposition 69 by, it's more like something you see on an adult DVD. Anyway, so we have baking soda. Yeah, that's what that looks like. Crazy glue. First thing we're going to do is take this here. Right? We take crazy glue. Lots of it. Now we squeeze this together because once it's done, it's done. Right, just put a bit of crazy glue on the top of that there. Okay, and then we sprinkle south of the border, loving on this right here. Lots of it. Let it cake into that. What it's going to do is create this nice, super hard see that? That thing's amazing. That thing is rock hard. And that's it. No more cracks in that plastic to worry about. Cool? Yeah? Alright, good. Let's see how long this... How many videos it's going to stay there on that, because I'm not going to clean it up. I don't feel like it. Alright. So that's that. That's the crazy glue and baking soda trick to try to fix broken plastic. Alright, let's start this on the choke and see what we get. So I have this turned all the way in one direction. So I know when I put this on, turn it that way. See? That works. Choke. In a run position. Choke. Run position choke. This is awesome. It is like actually turns it. Amazing. Okay, there you go. I'm happy. I've never done that trick before. So hopefully you get to use it too. Let's see if we can get this head off. So it should just depress and then just unscrew that bolt right there at the top. It should release the head. There you go. So that's that bolt. And this should come off. Perfect. Now, this uses point 008 line. At least that's what I think it does. Yeah. Yeah. Let's just pull off like several feet of that. Yeah, that's good. That's generous. Okay, so we're going to do this where we take half of it and split it in half. Like that. That's about right. And then we want to wrap it around. Remember exactly how to. These types of heads are a little tricky to get lined up properly, but we'll do it together. So it has holes in it, and you take. This is one continuous line. Push them through and keep them even as possible. Just pull up on them like that. Right? And then now you wrap this way. Let me see if that makes sense. Yeah, so if I wrap this way, as this spins, centrifugal force wants to pull it out that way. Right? Just to unwrap itself. Yeah, there you go. It wants to unwrap this way, so I have to wrap this way. There you go. Alright. Now once that is wrapped like that, this line is 0.0800. 0.0800. Of an inch, or 2.03 millimeters, so it's 0.08 hundredth of an inch. And then we go like this. Feed it through the sides like that. Right? And we're going to pull on it and just, it's going to take it off. Feed it through the eyelets. This is just to help you hold it in place while you set this in place. Okay. Now once it's in place, right? We push down, it'll come right off of that clip. So something was holding it, preventing it from going down. Okay, and that's it. So when it spins, it'll cut off the extra, and it'll start to feed itself through and slowly cut off the end. Okay. This trimmer has a couple of screws that do different things. Let's take a look at it together. Okay, we have so here. Oh boy. Sorry, try this again. Okay. Right here, I think this controls the high and that's the low. I'm not really too sure. We'll figure it out together. That's the idle. This one here. So we'll fire it up. It's never been turned on since we rebuilt it. Be fun to see what happens, right? Let's give it a shot. It's 50 stroke. This is the choke, works really well. Cool, let's do it. We're going to prime it a little. Let's see what's happening while we prime it, shall we? So take a look at the fuel lines here. See if the priming works. You should see fuel go back this way. That's the return. Yeah. Okay, it's coming in. See it coming in? Yeah. So that's good. And there's air in there, which is expected, right? Okay, there you go. That's the return. So it's pushing it out. See? So that's in. That's the fuel line side. This is out, the return side. I remember we tested it. We pushed the primer bulb, it pushes air out. That's how you know that's the return side, not the side with the fuel line. It's important to remember that if you're going to work on these small engines. Okay? All right, let's give it a try. Medium choke. No choke. Put on run, sorry. I pulled the spark plug out and it's very dry, so I wonder if fuels get into it. Give it a couple more tries and see what happens. So I poured a little fuel into the spark plug chamber. Let's So let's see what happens. I think it's just not getting any fuel because the spark plug is dry. So that's my that's what I'm seeing. No fuel. As you can see, it wants to run, but again, it's not getting any fuel. So when I directly put fuel in it, it runs. So that's how I know that it's definitely related to like the fuel's not getting from the carburetor to the engine. It's getting a little closer. Let's see what happens. All right, so I put it on run. But it won't stay on. So put it back on run. Just cuts right off. So I'm not. It's gonna be a little hard to hear me because it's party time in the neighborhood. But listen, I had to play around with the low and the high. So let's just keep playing around with it together and do the best I can to try to listen. I slept on this a little and did a little research. And I kind of like, I was making an observation and it just made sense, you know. I was like, oh, now I get it. Okay. See those little plastic caps here? See that? Those two black and white ones? Okay. I noticed, right, that when I would adjust this, this would be the high. This is the high side. That's the low side. It's not labeled. This it is. Low, high. Never mind. It's an L and an H here. I figured it out anyway from trial and error. And, but when you turn this, right, it's not independent of this. They're like, they collide. This one goes but so far, and then it limits the range of this one. So I would have this one set for the high, but the low, it just wouldn't get enough fuel to stay idled, right? And then I realized that these things are caps. These caps are created to limit the carburetor and make it run lean. Now, this is a design to obviously meet some standards set by the US government. And it doesn't work over time because this carburetor has changed, right? So I'm going to try to do a little trick to get these caps off. I use a screw. I'm going to screw down like this, and hopefully it'll punch, it will screw into, I'm going to try a smaller one, into the cap and then push against the metal below it. And in doing so, I will be able to get access. I can isolate them a little bit more so I can get them to set where I want them to be. So I'm just screwing this down. Get this cap off. Yep. There it goes, it's coming. Ah, voila, I see it. See? Now I have access to the low, and I can adjust the low as much as needed. Now that's what I recognize was the issue. So, that's what that looks like. Let's see. See. And that tab there is what's limiting the other one from turning. Okay. Now with the tab removed, I think, can I do what I want with? No, I still have to remove. No, I can get the other one all the way around. It doesn't hurt just to remove it since I'm already doing it. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove it. It looks like it's going to put up a little more of a fight. Just doesn't want to bite down into the plastic. Yeah, you want to get this off because if this low side needs to be adjusted, it's not going to, this won't be able to adjust it. Just hurts the muscles in my finger so much. Let me just pull it off. Yeah, it's working. There you go. Okay, that was easy. Okay, so that's maybe a better view. That's that. Okay. Now I can actually adjust the highs and lows independent of each other without them bumping up and trying to stop me from like getting it right. Yeah, so since I'm at this right now, I'm going to continue to like, I'm going to do the Welsh plug. You know, I didn't do it. So I'm going to take these off. I'll just do the Welsh plug while I'm at it, you know. Also, I learned a lot about the height of the needle and the seat, I suppose, like where they should be, that I was just kind of like ignored in the past. So they need to be leveled at the body of the carburetor all the way across. Just kind of ignored that, didn't really pay attention to it. Yeah. And this cap for the carburetor, it does have a specific orientation on some of them. I'm gonna double check. Cap, when I mean cap, I mean the thing that holds this primer bulb here. It does have a specific orientation. I'm just going to double check. Diaphragm. Carburetor. Like that. Okay. Okay. Now, some of these have certain orientation, like holes in them in a certain place. And so this has a hole here. So go, I'm sorry. So this has a hole here, right here. So Going around, something specific that lines up with that. There's nothing unique about the orientation here. Alright, so we're good. That's fine. Okay, that wash plug there, we need to replace that. And I want to show you something. The seat here, that metal part, that tab right there, if that thing is not flat, like parallel with the floor, then you want to hold it down and push on it or pull up on it just to make sure it sits flat, because that's a key part of it running well. Again, none of these things that I'm going to do are really the problem. It's really this. I wasn't able to like manipulate the low side as much as I wanted. The high's pretty good, but the low's not so good. So we should have some more success with it idling today. But let's just replace the wash plug, clean out the holes there. Oh yeah, one more thing. This thing has a filter. And I notice it's missing from the other side, so we'll do that also. Okay. The wash plug, before I take it out, I want to make sure that it is the right dimension, the one that I have, the backup. So I just pull it off and I overlaid it on top of this just to make sure that when I start tapping on it, it'll like expand properly. So that's the proper wash plug. Okay, for this, I'm using my center punch, my automatic center punch. It's by Starlet. And I recommend you put glasses on it because you never know what's going to happen when things fly. Okay, so this should be able to come out with a couple punches. Might be able to grab it, I suppose, right around now. Let's see. That makes sense. Screw a little bit down into it. I don't want to go too much because there is metal under there. That's kind of soft. There you go. Just need to create some leverage. Okay, so take that out. Let's try to minimize as much damage as possible to this physical space. Right, let's blow some air. Like that. And then there are some small holes, right? I'm going to use this tool here. Hopefully you can see it's a little bright on this side of the moon, but these passages, let's just try to just poke up and clean them out a little bit. Make sure there's nothing in them. Be a little hard to see because my hands are in the way, but just poking at those holes, there's small, but they're there. Okay. Okay, that's 3 holes. Okay. Those 3 holes are opened up a little. I want to blow a little bit of hole air through them. Now, with the new Welsh plug, I'm going to sit it on top, like that. And I need to tap on it until it expands. Right, so I'm going to use my 1/4 inch I'm just trying to tap on it until it flattens out. As it flattens out, it will push against the sides. So that's perfect. I do a little bit more at the top. Okay, so that's good. Alright, now there's a fuel filter that's also on this carburetor. It is, I think it's not, I don't think it's on this side, I think it's on this side. Yeah, I think. I'm not sure. Oh, that goes in there. I don't know. Let me find out right now with you. Okay. Maybe this side has the diaphragm next to the metal. Yeah, it goes right in there. Okay, that passage there, it uses a this mesh filter, this that I have, and I never really paid attention to it because, you know, I knew less, but now I know more. So now this mesh here, this duplicates the functionality of the fuel filter. So I'm gonna push this down. So nothing crazy, just so it seats. It wants to stay, and it doesn't need a lot of pressure. Okay, so that's what that does. Let's put this back. Make sure it's lined up. Yeah, it's lined up with both sides. That's good. Let's put this side back. This side should be fine. The orientation of this is oh boy, I hate when I get this. So gasket first, I think. Okay, so it's gasket, like I thought, like that, and then the diaphragm sits. So there's two sides. This side that's beveled in like that goes down into there. And then the fuel lines parts are going to be on the same sides, but it doesn't matter because it's keyed. You don't have to think about it. Okay. So we have 4 Phillips screws. So the carburetor is back together. Now I have access to the low. This is interesting. It doesn't seem to really get... I'm sorry, you couldn't see. So I'm not really sure how much access I have. But I don't know, like this doesn't really touch the idle screw much. Anyway.
Ha 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 ha.